Hi guys, welcome back to the channel for a next track guiding instalment. First one I've done on my own. Obviously I've had Dave and Harmonic help me out before, which is really kind of them, but back to just me, I'm afraid, so I'll have to put up with my dulcet tones. Right, Mellish, invite me to play. We're in the Lotus GT1 again, same as what we did with Dave around Sonoma. You guys probably know I've got a setup out sort of downloadable for this one. This is sort of the version 2 setup which I made the other day, which is shareable. Show you sort of on the screen how you can get hold of it, or go to the Suzuka East track board. You might be thinking, why Suzuka East? That's a bit of a strange choice for the first one on your own. You know, short lap, surely that's easy. It's only 10 corners or something like that. But actually, really technical track, especially in a car like this with a lot of grip. So, you know, I thought I'd take you around it, show you, you know, the line I take, some of the maybe common mistakes, you know, and a bit of a corner by corner breakdown. So if I just show you the lap, I guess, first off. You know, you guys all know Suzuka East, you know, the first section. You know, the last corner joins on to what is turn 18 on the large track, but obviously we've only got sort of 10 or 9 corners really on this one, if you count the sort of double corners like the FI8 do. So short track, really technical though. A couple of double apexes, some long radius corners, you know, a couple of curves which are going to throw you off, and you know, it's a really difficult exit from the last corner. So we're just sort of watching here, really got to get a perfect line, otherwise you're into the wall on the left. You know, that's a lap. It doesn't take long, it's only 46.5 seconds, but actually there's a lot that goes into getting what I would consider a sort of really good lap round here. So let's break it down, let's go through what is probably the most important corner on the track. That's the first corner, and a lot of people struggle with this, I think. So let's just watch it. This is sort of one of the mistakes which a lot of people make, is actually braking on the braking line, and you can see it just doesn't set you up properly for the corner as Harmonic comes online. Let's take another look at sort of what actually goes on, and another mistake as well, because I carry too much speed into here and have to brake too much, and I hit the inside curb and that throws me out. So, you know, you don't want to be braking too early, you don't want to be braking too late, obviously. You don't want to be hitting any of the curbs. Let's have a look at what it, well, hopefully should look like. A bit of a slide here, but angle of attack's pretty good. Run a little bit wide, sets me up obviously poorly for the next few corners. So you can see the fine sort of margins of going round the first corner. It's so important to find a consistent way of going around it, and you know, after I got into the swing of things a little bit, I managed to sort of sort that out a little bit. So let's break it down. Braking just before the tarmac on the left there. You can see I am a little bit over the curb, but I'm not mad over the curb. You get a little bit of time, and then I'm avoiding that curb altogether. Look at my angle of attack. I'm ready to exit the corner as straight as possible. You know, my car isn't straight here. I'm ready to exit the corner. I'm on the curb, but not too far, because actually if you go all the way over it, it unsettles the car, and you don't have enough time to set up then for the left-hander here, and obviously your lap's going to be ruined because that sequence is so momentum based. So take a look at it in full time again. So I'm braking, a little bit of throttle just to keep the car sort of momentum rolling, and I'm all the way out to the curb and straight away back across the track. You can take a lot of curb on this left-hander here. You can even go across the sort of green asphalt there, but you know, depending on what car you're in, it might unsettle it a little bit. But you will get a better angle into the next corner, as we'll see, which is really important. That switch back there and how you take this corner. You see I'm right up against the grass almost. You don't want to go over the grass though, because it will really unsettle the car, and you'll slide, and that'll be your lap ruined. You don't want to run all the way out wide there, because you need to be ready for this corner here, which sets you up for what I'd like to call a double apex corner, to be honest. You're all the way over to the right hand side of the track, which, you know, in a normal corner you'd be like, what's this guy doing? You know, he's never going to get around this. But because we can let the car run wide, and as soon as the front end bites, we can get on the power to the right hand side. Again, look, we're to the right hand side of the braking line here. This is a very long radius corner, constant radius corner, so you don't want to be making too many adjustments. you'll see actually I do actually sort of make a bit of a correction here, which isn't ideal, but I managed to just catch it right. But you want to be either on the curb or just on the tarmac side of the curb going into this last corner. Because you see I'm not over all the way to the right like I was on the last double apex corner. I'm in sort of the middle of the track. So you know, quite technical. Let's just watch it again in real time, because there's quite a flow to this section, which is really important to get right. And you'll see what I mean by sort of, if you get on the curb, you just need to have sort of 3/4 throttle, just so you're a little bit more safe. If you floor it, especially with traction on, it's just either going to bog or you're going to slide. So there's that correction into the second last corner. So as you can see, not over to the right hand side, not really setting up to the left hand side, because there's quite a lot of runoff on this last corner actually. I say runoff, there's quite a lot of track to use. You don't want to be going on that green asphalt though, mind, because you will just be driving all the way around the outside of this last corner, and probably still on the grass here. So let's take a look at that last section again. So this constant radius corner, actually set up a bit better this time. Really nice. You don't want to be going too tight though, because if you go too tight, you put the power down, there's actually a bump that the car sort of compresses into, which will send you wide. So even with a good setup, you can see how it affects the car. This one, a little bit better, letting the car roll around. You want the power down on one movement. Even if you slide a little bit, especially if you've got no traction on, that's fine. You know, you need really smooth power application on this one, because this straight, although it's not that long, it is the only straight sort of on the track. A few people have asked me to do this, leave the telemetry on a little bit with the throttle and sort of braking percentages. As you can see there on the right hand side, sort of all the tiny adjustments I do through the corners. I actually think the other one's better with the blue and sort of red line with the brake and accelerator, but this has been asked for by a few people. But you can see though, when I'm on the curve, there's that sort of 50 to 60% throttle. It's not power on all the time. Even with traction, you're quite smooth in this car especially. So hopping over that curb, a little bit of a bump, don't go too on the inside. You can clip a little bit of grass if you're feeling brave, but be aware that the car may well snap on you, and that's just, you know, what happens at coming out that last corner. Let's watch again in real time. You see sort of lap 20, I've had a time to warm up. Nice and smooth through the first corner, a couple of brake stabs, bit of power just to keep the car rotating. One movement again on the power straight away, flick to the right, over the curb on the left, make sure this transition's nice to the right, sort of bit of a sort of fin kick out if you like. You could go over this curb if you're really safe, but I like to avoid it. You can get away with a sort of narrow entry into this corner because it's the double apex one. Constant radius through this. If you need to adjust, don't make it a big one like me. Set up nicely for this, over the curb, run out wide, don't go too much on the inside, try and get a straighter exit on the power as soon as you see that sort of pit lane entry rather, and away you go. And that's the lap of Suzuka East. I realise, you know, not a long lap, a little bit of analysis, not too much detail. You know, really happy to go into more detail if you guys want to on any sort of particular corner or aspect of the track. Just comment below and I can make that happen. You know, go and grab the tune, go give it a go yourself. It's on Suzuka East board, or we can sort of search for these names here. The old one's probably a little bit more oversteery, but still good. Guys, if you like the video, you know, give it a thumbs up. It really helps actually. Subscribe to the channel for more of this content.